everyone, welcome to this channel. My name is Lavanya and I'm a recently qualified job accountant. I cleared my CA finals in November 23 in my first attempt, have cleared all my foundation and my intermediate also in the first attempt. I also hold a CA foundation rank. With the May 24 exams upcoming in around a month, I think this is probably the most crucial period of time, and I'm sure all of you who are giving this do know that to be highly panicked, highly stressed. Trust me, that was me 6 months ago. And these are some of my learnings and some of the tips that I picked up when I was preparing for my exams, and I think which really helped me. And I wish somebody had told this to me back when I was preparing. The first thing is to understand that everything in this portion comes from the textbook, right? Nothing is going to come out of your ICAI textbook. So once you register this, you realize that you have two options. Either you cover 100% of your portions, which is really not possible, or you try to think from an examiner's perspective and try to figure out what are the kind of questions that the examiner is looking at and what are the kind of questions they want to ask you. This last 1 month, I would say, should be solely dedicated to that, where you start thinking from an examiner's perspective and try to actually decode what can come in the question paper. The first way you have to start doing this is go through all your previous year papers, your RTPs and your MTPs. And when you do this, I don't mean solve those papers. I mean go through those questions and mark it in your textbook, right? Mark everything in your textbook. So you have an idea as to, from what are the important topics, where are things coming from, etc. The second thing is your back questions in your chapters are the most important things. Ensure that irrespective of what material you are utilizing, you solve the back questions of every single chapter, and you also mark what are some of the different questions which are there, right? Because there are certain questions, for example, in SFM or in FR that you cannot find in these reference books, which is actually there in the ICM material, right? These are just the most random questions which have a certain tricky component to it, right? So you ensure that you solve all the back questions of your ICM material and you are prepared there. My second point is to mark everything in the textbook. The ICM portion, subject-wise, is extremely vast, right? And what I think makes or breaks whether you do well in your exam or not is what you study one day before the exam. And one day before the exam, studying that complete textbook is impossible. So the alternative for you is to mark everything in your textbook, right? Mark all the previous questions, mark all the important questions, mark all the tricky points. So you know that one day before the exams, these are the things that I need to give priority for. Now, speaking of priority, we come to the third point, is to perform in ABC analysis, right? And when I mean an ABC analysis, I do not mean the conventional ABC analysis, which is where, if you see all these YouTube faculties, right, your conventional ABC analysis gives more weightage to chapters which have more marks, right? For example, your forex, your derivative, etc. These are important chapters and hold a significant weightage, but your RV and the amount of effort that you need to put to study these chapters is a lot. I would say do an ABC analysis from the perspective of per mark, how much effort do you need to put to study. In this, you would see that your theory chapters and your small chapters, right, which ideally we tend to skip because they're not apparently as important, hold a lot more weightage because it's much easier to study. You can finish your small chapters in 15 minutes, 20 minutes, right? But at the end of the day, it guarantees you 3 to 5 marks because there is nothing complicated in those chapters, right? Just one reading of those chapters ensures that you get these marks. While in the other hand, if they really want to set a tough paper, they will, test your concepts in these, large chapters, which large weightages and, make questions which are inherently difficult. But these smaller chapters is where you have a scoring opportunity. So I would say do that analysis and ensure that you do not skip on these small chapters in your theory chapters where your portions are much lesser. So your per mark reward is much more. Now, The fourth thing I would say comes from your study perspective, right? A lot of times we tend to just read and read and read and read and spend a lot of time on that. But my personal opinion is pick a marathon video and simultaneously keep your textbook open and read simultaneously along with the marathon video, because a marathon video is generally 12 to 15 hours, and there are a lot of faculties out there who put like really good marathon videos which are more than enough. So I would suggest study simultaneously along with these marathon videos, which actually streamlines your study much faster and ensures you can do more and more revisions. It also gives you a perspective, what are some of the important topics that those faculties think will come, in this event. So I think faculties who have much more experience, right, you find what fit and a fit for you, and you choose such a faculty and do their marathon videos. And I think that is something which really helped me a lot at the same time. Now, the fifth and the last point is to ensure you take a break, right? We tend to stress so much, right? And it's just inherently always on your mind when I need to study and tend to guilt trip yourself. But I would say take a break, right? Set goal-based targets and not time-based targets. You're not expected to study 15 to 18 hours a day. You are expected to finish your portions in the most efficient way you can. And that is what your goal should be. So don't beat yourself up one of the days of break and one of the days you just don't feel like studying, right? Because at the end of the day, a strong mind, a strong mental capability is, actually what determines how efficiently you are studying. So with that, I would like to end this video, and I really hope it helped you guys. I would say all the best for the May 24 exams, and do reach out if you need any